Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Hi. Thank you all for joining us today to the Ask a Venue Owner live presented by We Are Artists. We Are Artists is a collective of artists, art organizations, art venues, and anybody who just loves art. And the purpose of WAR is to further artists through collaboration and through education. Um, so today we have a pretty cool lineup, and I am excited to get started with everyone. So let's see. Let me pull this up. All right, great. Okay, so first, I would like to have everybody go and give their introductions. Um, let's see. Let me make sure that everybody is on the stage. Okay, great. Um, so let's start with Miss Jestina Howard. She is coming in Birmingham Museum of Art. Um, Miss Justina, would you introduce yourself?
Jessica, I can't hear anything.
Uh-oh. Can you hear me now? Can you hear anything? Hmm. Can you hear me now?
No.
Okay. I'm going to leave and I'm going to come back. Okay. Okay, can you hear me now? Okay. Um, try leaving and then coming back. I'm going to somebody type to Justina to leave and then come back. Okay. Can somebody communicate that to her? Okay, great. Okay, can you hear me now? No. Okay, we're gonna start with Miss Ladonna Smith. Um, Erica, do me a favor and try to coordinate with Justina to get her sound working. Okay. Um. All right. Cool. So, hi, Miss Ladonna Smith. How you doing? I can't hear you. I don't know if your mic is off or not, but no. You just put yourself on mute. I don't know what happened. Okay. I still can't hear you. All right. So what we're gonna do? Do me a favor, Ladonna. Can you leave out of the chat and then come back? And then we're gonna see if we can hear you. Now we're gonna go to Mr. Miya Bailey, longtime friend of mine and a very accomplished artist and curator in Atlanta. Miya, can you give an introduction, please?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I can
Okay,
hear you.
cool. I'm Miya Bailey. I'm a visual artist out of Atlanta, Georgia. I'm a curator and I create spaces.
Okay, yeah. he's definitely dope, you guys. Check him out. All right, so we're gonna try Miss Bernardine. Let's see if we can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, Dr. Bernardine. Yeah,
Yay!
hear
I
you.
am here.
Awesome.
And
Thank you so much. Yes, could you introduce yourself?
absolutely. My name is Bernardine Birdsong. I'm the owner of Michael's Steak and Seafood in Birmingham, Alabama, and also Bar Sebastian. My restaurant is a steak and seafood restaurant, fine dining, and also the rooftop bar um, is located above. In my restaurant, I have lots of artwork from local artists. Um, and I have held several art exhibits there. And then I've also had performing artists in the restaurant as well. So, very interested in this topic and hope we can find something that's mutually beneficial for everybody.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. Okay. We are gonna try again with Miss Justina. Let's see if we can hear you. Can you hear me? No? Okay, we're gonna try Miss Ladonna. Can you hear me? I still can't hear you. I don't know what's going on. Um, huh. I don't know what is going on. Erica is going to try to help you guys on the backstage while we go ahead and get started. But to everybody who is listening in the audience, I would like for you to tell me where you're tuning in from. Are you tuning in from Alabama? Are you tuning in from Atlanta? Are you tuning in from someplace I've never heard of? Let me know in the comments, please. And thank you. Okay. Also, I would like to know not only where are you tuning in from, but also, are you an artist? And if you are an artist, what type of art do you do? Okay. Um, all right. So, the next thing I would like to do before we get into the questions is share a couple of blurbs from other organizations. They would have liked to be here, but they couldn't. So they asked me to share some information about their organization um, to everybody here. The first is the Flourish. The Flourish Alabama is a nonprofit dedicated to helping artists bloom. We are constantly seeking artists of all mediums to mentor youth, teach workshops for all ages, and create. Excuse me. We also have our space, the Greenhouse, available for rental in Inslee. As we look to build the Black Arts District in Inslee, our goal is to create a space where artists can cultivate their talents and grow. For any inquiries, contact us at theflourishalabama@gmail.com. You can also reach us online at theflourishal.com and on Instagram at theflourishalabama. Okay. And the next one is the Social Veg. Hi, my name is Fatimah of Solcial owner of Social Veg, located inside Grade A Cafe and Lounge at EK Suites. We are a full service event venue with office space, meeting space, traditional and vegan catering. Contact us today for customized packages. And her email is so it's SHEADOIT@gmail.com or call at 205-926-8660. And we have one more, Cabo Coastal Grill. Cabo is located in Homewood at 100 Frankfurt Circle, Birmingham, Alabama. They're open to hosting events for artists and will agree to take the door as long as they can get the bar at such events. If you're interested in that, reach out to Jorge Ibanez. I don't know. I hope I didn't butcher that. At 205-202 3182. So with that, we are gonna go ahead and get started. Oh, okay. Looks like Oscar is tuning in from Douglasville, West Atlanta Metro. Erica is in the airport at Charlotte. Rodney Huntley is coming in from Birmingham, and Oscar is a wordsmith, different kind of artist. Okay. Well, we still, you can still possibly benefit from this live. So stay on. Okay. All right, let us get back going. Thank you guys for hanging in there. I'm going to try again to see if we could get Miss Jestina and Miss Ladonna
I can hear
ready.
you now. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you so much for joining. Could you introduce yourself, please?
Sure. I'm Jestina Howard, Special Events Manager at the Birmingham Museum of Art.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us.
Sure.
And Miss Ladonna, can you hear me? Can you? Ah, man. Still can't hear you. No,
I converted, I got off my laptop and did my phone, so she may have to switch.
that might, yeah. Try that, Miss Ladonna. See if that'll work for you, okay? Okay. Erica, could you send her a message in case she couldn't hear me to try tuning in on her phone since I can't hear her? Um, okay, cool. So we're gonna get started. Oh, and Erica, can you see what happened to Will? And okay, we got Miss Bernardine back. Cool. Awesome. Okay, so let's get started with the questions. Can you explain the rental process for your venue? Are there different options or packages available? And what do you have available? Do you just have like an ability to have an event? Do you have ability to kind of show work? Can you walk us through the process, please? Let's start with Miya.
Well, I mean, my process is, I mean, people hit me up. Of course, we got my event space. We got it on Peerspace, so people hit us from Peerspace, or people hit me directly. And what I do is I got an infrastructure where I got a couple of booking agents that handle things for me. So I just split it down 50-50 with them. I do 50-50 deals. So anybody who good with hosting people or like just making sure my building don't get tore up during the event, I split it up 50-50 with these people. And I help create jobs in my community doing it that way.
That's super cool. Can you tell everybody the venues that you own?
Well, right now I rent out Peter Street Station, and then I got a spot called Maya's Loft. I rent out Maya's Loft. So those are the two spots that I've rent out. The rest of the spots aren't really, for rent. But those
Got
two spots, Peter Street Station is probably my main spot that people book us almost daily with different things. But it's also around the times that we not booked for our own events, because we do our own events there too, in-house.
Okay. What about if somebody, because I know you have a couple of galleries, so if somebody wanted to show their work, how would that process be if they wanted to like have any of their work shown in one of your galleries?
I mean, they can always directly, send work to me directly, but usually I leave that to the curator. I believe a curator's job is to find artists. I don't believe that it's the gallery's job to do that. I'm just a gallerist, and sometimes I'm a curator. So when I'm curating a show for myself, I pick artists that I work with that help me out. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah,
like, I like to keep my network family based, like, like keep the money in our circle now in our own infrastructure. So like I usually work with the same artists, so I can keep my net so the money circulate within my crew. I mean, that's what I do. And then when it's like then I also every other month I let a guest curator come in so we can also use artists outside of my ecosystem. You know, then
got it.
it might introduce me to a new artist. I'm like, I like this artist. They made sales. I'm a business person, so I'm gonna go after the artist that's hustling the best. You know what I'm saying? Like I might see genius in the artist. I'm like, hey, they might don't be selling now, but if I help them out, then I'll be part of their history of their story, which is also gonna help me in my legacy too. Because then in art history, like these two great artists paths crossed in some way. So I'm looking at it always in a historical standpoint. So
Got
sometimes I'll be an artist that's just good naturally, and some artists just because of politics, and some artists because of relationships, friendships, and some artists because of sales.
understandable. So
Yeah.
if there is a specific artist who wanted to work at your gallery, they would need to get in contact with the curator and then see if the curator likes their
Well, I
work.
mean, I always say if an artist is working hard enough, the curator's always going to be on their job already.
Got it.
You know what I'm saying? For artists just talented and not got the hustle about them, I mean, it's so many talented artists out there, but it's the artists that go out there and get it. You know what I'm saying? Curator's job is to locate artists that's out there really being consistent. If the artists are consistent, then they already seen already gonna be known in their city, at least in their own community, and then that's how people are gonna look. When I'm looking for artists, I'm just listening to the names I'm hearing on the streets. I talk to other artists. They name come in conversations more than 2 or 3 times. Then it's gonna spark my interest to look into them. And then I would, if I keep seeing them being consistent, then I'm gonna go after them myself as the curator, and I'm gonna ask them to be in the show.
Got it. Okay, that clears everything up for
Yeah,
me.
yeah. I don't really like when I mean artist submission is cool because sometimes you're gonna get something, but usually when artists submitting to me, I'm gonna be honest, about 99% of the work aren't that good.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Because if they really making noise, trust me, I'm on it. I'm already on it. Like I love talented artists, especially young ones that I can see evolve and I can see them being consistent. Trust me, my eyes is gonna be on them from the gate anyway. So
Okay, thank you so much for that.
yeah.
So far we got people in the comments. Erica says she's a food artist. Benny James says he's from Birmingham. Hey Benny. Simon Magus, Fred Free says big business representing Fastnick Foundation and Oscar Jones. And then he says that Maya's right. So okay, let's see. Let's get over to Miss Jestina Howard. Can you tell us what the process is if somebody if you know both ends, like if somebody wanted to be curated in the museum, also if somebody would like to have an event in the museum, what the process would be for that?
Well, since I handle external events, which is when someone wants to rent the museum to host an event, it could be an art exhibition or wedding or whatever. They would contact me via email or phone call and let me know what they're trying to plan. And from there, we do a site visit to see if the space would work with what they're trying to host. The other route is sometimes because we have community engagement managers and we have an education department. Sometimes artists will get in touch with our public programs manager, Carrie, or our community engagement person, Lydia, and then they'll connect them to me. We also have a curatorial department at the museum, and they work on our permanent collections and also our rotating collections in the museum. And sometimes people will reach out to the curators about hosting. Each one of our departments will handle things differently. With mine, with me handling external events, like I said, the site visit, seeing if the space would work with what they're trying to do, and also letting them know our facility guidelines of what can and cannot happen in the museum. With us being a museum, a lot of people think, oh, well, I can have my art displayed on the walls or in the galleries, and that's not something that can happen. But you can display art in our public spaces on easels or on other fixtures that you would bring in, but nothing affixed to the walls.
Got it. Thank you so much for that. Oh, could you let me know if somebody wanted to display their art? Do you have any contact information for who they would reach out to see if that would be possible?
To display art, they would have to contact our curatorial department.
Mm-hmm.
And that chief curator is Ann Forschler. Um, you can email her at aforschler, FORSHLER, at artsbma.org. You could also call the museum and ask for her. But she is the chief curator at the museum and work with the other curators on those permanent collections and rotating art collections. Like we have one right now with the local artist, Amy Pleasant, that has done a mural in our 8th Avenue lobby space that will be up for a year. So we do work with local artists and also artists from around the country on some of these exhibitions.
Perfect. Thank you so much for that. Okay. All right, let's see, Miss Ladonna. Let's see if we got you working now. Try saying something. Oh man, I still can't hear you. Try saying something again. No. Okay, we're gonna keep trying, but she does run East Village Arts. I went over there yesterday. Super cool spot in East Lake. Um, and hold on, keep it still, keep it still. At East Village Arts, we have a mission to create a vital cultural art space for community artists and friends to gather and create. Our vision is to support emerging and established artists, poets, and a collective of independent performers and musicians of a diversity of genres, with a venue that is accessible, efficient, and affordable. And I walked around there yesterday, y'all. It is a cool space, y'all. It's like they have pews to sit in, they got a stage, and then like all around the venue, they have like separate little like studio spaces, and you can rent one out as an artist. It's mad cool. And she is currently looking for people to rent it out. The prices to rent out these spaces as an artist is very, very reasonable. So if I were you and I was an artist who needed an affordable space to show my art or to have shows, etc., I would reach out to Miss Ladonna Smith. Miss Ladonna, could you put in, let me see, do we got your information? Um, in order to meet deadlines for publicity, please send biographical information to us by Friday, 3 to 6 weeks before your opening. Include the meeting you'll be exhibiting, typical subject matter, portrait, still life, landscape, etc. How and when you started the arts, your training, shows you participated in, awards won, related organizations of which you are a member, and anything else that would interest the public in you and your work, and that would encourage attendance, ideas, and examples. Okay, cool. Miss Ladonna, can you write in the comments how, like, your website, how to get in contact with you, and if you would like some, like, a range of what the prices are to rent out different booths in East Village Arts, either. That's what we call it, either. Okay. Thank you so much, Ladonna. All right, so we're gonna go over to Miss Bernardine. Miss Bernardine, can you tell us what the process is to rent your venue, as well as what the process would be if an artist would like to just hang some pictures up at Michael's Steak and Seafood?
Yeah, absolutely. The best way to reach me is to email me at bernardinebirdsong@gmail.com, or they can go to my website under events and just put in the notes, what the date, the time, the type of event, what kind of thing they're wanting to accomplish, and then I'll reach back out to them via email. And they can also come out and do a site visit to
Mm-hmm.
see which venue works best. Is it in the restaurant or is it going to be on the rooftop? And we can talk about what that is going to look like and how we can facilitate it. But the best way is to start with an email, either via the internet from michaelsteakandseafood.com, or to
Mm-hmm.
email me directly at my whole name at gmail.com.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. All right, so next question for the audience members. Um, have you let's see. What's your biggest curiosity or concern when it comes to working with a venue? Like, what do you need to know in order to kind of push you in the right direction of working with a venue? You have any questions about that? What's your biggest hesitancy about that? So just let me know what you think. All right, back to the panelists. Um, Here's our next question. Are there any specific time slots or seasons when renting your venue is more cost effective for artists? Like, if they if they rent it out during like weekday hours, during the weekend, or anything like that? Is there any type of a difference in that case? Let's start with Maya.
Well, it's all the same price for me. Sometime I might go up a little bit on the weekends. Depends
Mm-hmm.
on the event. I kind of cater the prices around what type of event it is. Be realistic, like if it's music related, like music industry related, and
Mm-hmm.
everybody kind of who know me know I'm not really a fan of music industry people. So if it's like if I don't really like their personality or like what they stand for, but it's still a business and it go against some of the stuff I personally believe in, my morality. I might charge a little bit more for my discomfort to have them in my building. I'll be realistic, like a rapper or somebody. I might, I'm like, yeah, I don't really like what they're saying in their music, but they always bragging about money. Let's let them pay for my spot and not inconvenience. And when more money, give us more freedom to create the artwork we truly want to do. So it's like you know, give or take. We know we're gonna use the money to do good with it, so we'll take the money.
All right, cool. I got you. Um, okay. Next, let's try Miss Justina. Like, do the prices change to rent at the museum?
Yes, during the day, we're open to the public during the day, Tuesday through Saturday, 10 to 5, Sundays, 12 to 5. And it's more reasonable to host an event during the day while we're open to the public. After 5 p.m., when we're closed to the public, the venue does become a more private venue, but there are additional charges for security to be on the premises after 5. Um, According to what type of event it is and how loud it's going to be and the components of it, it may or may not work during the day because we will have museum visitors flowing throughout the museum, visiting galleries. So it's really based on what the elements are for the event, the art event. We've had some during the day, where people are just coming to showcase their work, having a few light hors d'oeuvres, and then the event is over before we close. But then others where it's more of a party and louder music and more elements, and all of that happens after 5, where no one else will be in the building but just the client and their guests that they invite.
Thank you so much for that. That's really helpful. Okay. All right. I want to check in with our audience to see if you're still there because you didn't say anything to the last question that I asked you. So I'm gonna ask you another question. Um, let's see. Um, have you ever attended an event at a venue that left a lasting impression on you? And what was it about that venue that sparked your interest? So, anyone who's in the audience, please let me know what you think. Okay, so here is um hold on, let's see. Miss Bernardine, I don't think I got to you. So do you have any special rates or discounts for emerging artists? No, I'm sorry, that was our next question. Do you have a specific time slots or seasons when renting your venue is more cost effective?
Yes, I do. So off seasons, so non-peak hours and non-peak seasons. So like it's going to be more expensive to rent around classic, Christmas, Valentine's, Mother's Day. Those are going to be the times when it's going to be the most expensive. And then also it's less expensive if you rent during the week, like a Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday, when it's much slower than a Friday and a Saturday. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, that's going to be your most expensive time. So weekdays is going to be better.
Okay.
And then like Justina was saying, weekdays when we're already there is going to be less expensive because then we're not having to bring in extra staff, extra security, or whatever um, at times when we're not normally there. So if I have to come in and bring in extra staff during hours when we're not normally there, that's going to be more expensive than if you were there when we were there automatically.
Okay. Got it. Thank you so much
Mhm.
for that. All right. Oh, Will's back. All right. Let's try Ladonna and Will. Let's see. Let's see. Is your sound working, Ladonna? Say something. No, still not working. Okay. Well, oh man, we just had Will back. And he disappeared again. Okay. Hopefully he'll be able to make it back in a minute. So we're gonna move on to our next question. Um, our next question is do you offer any special rates or discounts for emerging artists? Or actually, Will is back. I'm adding him to the stage now. Let's see. Hey, Will, you are on mute.
Hello.
Hi, Will.
Whew, man, I've been trying to get back on here for about 30 minutes.
Well, thank you for coming back, sir. I appreciate you. So what I would like for you to do is just kind of start from the beginning. Give us an introduction of who you are and what you do, and yeah, your everything that you've done up to this point and what you're about to do.
Whew, okay, y'all got time for this. All right. So, my name is Will Harville. I'm a Birmingham native, born and raised. I'm a graduate of Huffman High School, Stillman College, Tuscaloosa, and I am, I guess, a serial entrepreneur. For the last 15 years, under my parent company, HVille LLC, I've owned and operated bars and event spaces, reception halls. My last venture was Bazaar the Coffee Bar. We operated in downtown Birmingham for about 5 years. We recently just closed down, and I'm in the process right now of opening a new reception hall venue called Ambiance, located in downtown Birmingham on 17th, 18th Avenue, near Alabama Theater and the Lyric Lounge. We also have a nonprofit called Bizarre Blessings, where we literally find money and give it to minority-owned businesses on a weekly basis. Um, yeah, for the most part, that's it. Right now, we're focusing on opening a new venue, pursuing the nonprofit ventures, and getting more funding for minority-owned businesses. Yeah, that's about all I can think of right now.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So when is your new venue opening up? And once it does open up, what would be the process that someone would need to take in order to both display their art in your venue and to rent it out to have any kind of a performance or event?
So, contacting me directly, preferably through Facebook. Will Harville, my direct name, until we get our actual event page up for the venue. But the venue's purpose, primarily, of course, it is to profit, but also to create a venue where nonprofit organizations can raise funds. We've got marketing people, we've got Fortune 500 individuals that are reaching out to help us create the type of venues where we give them discounted rates on the space. It's a venue without an alcohol license, so you'll be able to bring your own alcohol, and you'll be able to sell tickets at an elevated rate so that you can secure funding for your nonprofit organization. Again, it is still going to be open for renting out to the public, and all that is contacted through me. As far as the art level, if anyone's ever been in Bazaar, they'll see that we used to actually sell local art off of our walls on a daily basis. We actually intend to, we've got a space designated just in our new space where we can put 8 to 10 pieces of artwork and make them available for sale for through all the patrons that actually come through and visit the place on a regular basis. And again, to get in contact for renting the venue, if you're a nonprofit and you want our help in fundraisers, if you want to actually display artwork in our space, all you do is contact me through Facebook, Will Harville, on Facebook.
Perfect. Thank you so much for that. I mean, that sounds great. You guys are doing stuff for nonprofit organizations. War is a nonprofit organization. I kind of like that. Okay. Awesome. So, our next question is, oh, well, let's get to the comments. Oscar Jones said that the high note slash rocking horse really kind of left an impression with him. He says that Sam Pilato. Everything about the high note was Mr. Sam's warm, good business partner, good drinks, flexible, amiable, decent soundstage
Hello?
too. Miss that place.
Hello?
So, um, I don't know what just happened.
I think I just got the mic to work. This is Ladonna.
I'm sorry.
This is Ladonna.
Oh, you got the mic.
I think
That's so
so.
great. That is so
I,
great. Okay, so Ladonna, since we've been trying so hard to get you on, can we get you? Is there anything else that I left out? Would you like to introduce yourself? If you know anything else that you would like to add that we haven't gotten to yet?
uh, I just like to say that it's nice to meet all of you and hear about your stories. I am the director of a new gallery called East Village Arts Birmingham, and it's in a bit of kind of a depressing neighborhood on First Avenue North, 7611. But I believe that because we do an artistic work and we are creating an incredibly affordable and interesting space, that we can anchor the, you know, redevelopment of some sort, for that block. And we're going to call it East Village. And what our goal is to create an East Village in Birmingham so that, this is a place where creatives can come, share multicultural, multi-genre. It's not a bar and it's not a museum. So it's extremely affordable. And I would like to mention that this Friday night we're doing a series by Timbuktu. It's called Friday Night Rights, and he is bringing in the most marvelous artists and very, very deep, and some are spiritual and they're very entertaining. And last month it was rap and reggae, and I'm not sure. Oh yes, this month the guest artist will be Yogi Dada, so she'll be presenting as the main person, and there's always an open mic. We're a BYOB venue. We also have some small studios for rent for artists maybe that would be appropriate for exhibiting your own art show. You could have it and you could change it out monthly and all that. It's very affordable, around 125 to $200, depending on whether the studio is small or a little larger. It's lockable, or if you just trust the collective, we're creating an artist collective basically. And so it's a lot of fun, and we just got a ton of wonderful people coming in thanks to our curators. We also have Faith Hope, who is the director of the Soultopian Society, and she's doing art for mental health. And right now she's running a third Thursday night, which is kind of a writing workshop where we share and do those kind of things. They have some avant-garde art, so it's not necessarily the most popular art, but we want to expand. There's been floated an idea of doing the jazz whispers. So it's really what the artists that are local and who aren't, high enough yet in the mainstream, to have really popular music, floating around, and or artworks that are being recognized, by higher institutions like BMA. But for the local, we have a lot of different we want to express, give a space for kind of an incubator germination place. Not only for us, the artists, but also for our community, the entire community. We can come together in multicultural space, and it's extremely affordable and it's a lot of fun. So I recommend you come out 7611 First Avenue North and check it out.
Thank you so much, and I am so glad that we were able to
Y'all
get your
still
going. Okay, okay. Let's
there? Man, I
jump
can hear you.
in.
Oh, I turned you down. There,
What happened?
uh, I had to turn you down to speak because otherwise I'm hearing all this stuff. But now I can turn you up. So go ahead.
Okay. All right. So let's hit the comments up. All right. We're talking about high note, I think. And I'm thinking you're talking about the high note that was in Birmingham, and I thought that was cool too. I do miss high note. Um, Oscar has a question for everybody. Are there opportunities for artists to perform in a promotion partnership agreement, e.g., rather than rent the place, performing artists become barkers for the venue, driving traffic into the business, fans of the act, and patrons of the bar slash restaurant slash etc. Anybody want to take that?
Um, Hello.
Yes.
All right, so there are a lot of venues that actually would love for artists who, I guess, are more driven to get their craft out than to receive a fee for their artistry. I know several of them. We actually used to do it at a bazaar all the time, and we know a couple of them around the city. If you want to reach out to me on my page, I can hook you up with some bar owners, some reception hall owners who would love to exchange a showcase for your art for talent to entertain their crowd.
Awesome. You are such a great resource. Thank you. Um, Anybody else want to add anything to that?
We do it also. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, we do it at Michael's and at Bar Sebastian too. We would just have to speak with the person to see what kind of event they're trying to do and see if we can work together to help host them. So
Okay.
yes, there is an opportunity for that.
Great to know. Thank you so much. Anybody else?
Can you hear me?
Yep, can hear you.
Okay, I'll turn this down. So at East of the Jar, we're trying to build a membership, like a real community collective. So if you are a member, you get special rates, especially depending on if you're volunteering, to do other things in the house. You can, if you're a resident artist, you have 24-hour access in terms of the visual artist or, performing artist, or you can be a curator of a series or things like that and come to the membership rate. And so you get a break for doing it and really being part of the family.
Thank you so much.
We also have a patio and a garden, that kind of goes along too. So there are a lot of different kind of like volunteer possibilities.
Sounds great. Thank you. Okay. Yeah. Let's see. Let's see what is our question for our audience. Oh, Miss Justine, did you have something that you would like to add?
As far as partnerships with the museum, a lot of times we have a lot of internal events, a lot of public programs that sometimes artists will partner with us on. They normally would go through our public programs manager, Carrie Fountain, who coordinates those public programs where some artists can be showcased during those events.
Got it. Okay. Thank you so much. All right, let's see. For our panelists, do you have a specific vision for your event or art display at a venue? If so, what is your vision? What do you want to do? Do you want to have a display? Do you want to have an event? And if you do, how do you want it to happen? What do you envision it being? Please share. I am really curious to know what your goals are. All right, back to the panelists. Are there any and Miss Justina hit on this a little bit earlier when she was talking about the easels, but she said, are there any um, restrictions on the type of events or art exhibitions that can be hosted in your venue?
I mean, I can answer it. Um, both of my galleries, I mean, one of my galleries is more based off experimental, so I really don't have any because it's like artist ran art gallery. So it's like, I mean, as an artist, I don't want no one to tell me what I can and can't do visually. So, you know, all
Yeah,
I can do is just give the parents a warning and say, hey, man, this show right here, you might, if it's something that's a little bit edgy, then, this a warning for children. But I try to give artists as much freedom as possible. But at the same time, it's a curator and a business person. And I got to think about also what's going to sell. You know what I'm saying? So I got to kind of get that sweet spot in the middle, that middle ground. So that's why I got two different galleries. One is for more like a fine art, aesthetic, and one is more for experimental.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Oh,
Yeah, I
Jessica.
like that too. We try not to tell the artists what to do, but we just like for people to make a proposal and let us know what they are doing, and we're more than happy to try to help them. If we can, and get them scheduled. If they want to do an individual studio or exhibit, or if we have a little bit larger space, where we do feature artists. But our vision, as far as what's coming up, I think we're going to have a holiday fair, so we would like to invite artists to submit to us if they would like to participate in that, and that would be easy to get into. And then further on down in 2024, we'll be at the top of the year. Um, I think that we're going to try to plan a festival of the tribes because we have, white artists, black artists, and we'd love to have Hispanic community come together because East Lake is a very diverse space, and one of our missions is to create a very welcoming space for us all to kind of mix and get to know each other. So if we have a festival featuring uh, events and curators, bringing things together in arts, from all of our tribes, and we kind of stack it. We'll all get to kind of mix and mingle, and I think that that's something that we can do, rather than just stay in our own projects, all the time, separately. Because I have some wonderful curators, but they're in their own projects. I want to try to bring them together as well. So look for that coming up in 2024.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing.
Oh, Jessica.
Yeah.
It's Justine. I want to add, because I did mention this
Mhm.
earlier, um, when artists have showcases at the museum, unfortunately, none of the art can be sold. We do not allow any selling of merchandise on our premises at all. So the only thing you could do is have a showing, and would have to inform your possible buyers that they would have to purchase, the next day from you elsewhere, but no types of selling of any kind of merchandise or tickets can be handled on the premises of the museum.
Oh, wow. I had no idea. Thank you so much for sharing. That's a crucial piece of information for people to know. Thank
Yes,
you.
we've had like Arts, Beats, and Lyrics, which was a really big event several years ago there. And it was all about just showcasing, but no selling
Hmm.
of any art.
Got it. Yeah, I remember that. That was monumental. I do remember. Okay. Would anybody else like to add anything? Dr. Bernardine, Miss Ladonna, Will, anything about restrictions on types of events or art exhibitions that could be hosted in your venue? Will, we can't hear you. You are on mute.
Oh, how the hell did I get on there?
Okay, we can hear you now.
Yeah.
Okay. So as far as the new venue ambiance that we're opening up, it's a private event space. So, I mean, as long as we're not violating fire code or municipal law, then there aren't that many restrictions on what you can or cannot do at our venue.
Okay, good to know. Thank you. Awesome. Anybody else?
Our venue, you can sell your merch. You certainly, you can mark your products. At the museum, you get the bragging rights, and that's a good thing. So yeah, no, there's no real restrictions.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you
I
so
like
much.
Bill.
I got this restriction. I
Okay.
really not. We really don't be playing no trap music.
That
You
part.
really don't like these
That
rappers, man.
part.
Yeah, man. You know how I feel about rappers, man. So,
Yeah,
but
I know.
That part.
yeah, no trap music, man. High frequency, good vibrations only.
Yeah, good
Real
vibration.
talent, real skills,
Yeah.
real art.
Do y'all do
Okay.
jazz? I mean, what kind of music do you do, man?
What type of music?
Yeah. Yeah, what
I like. I like.
uh,
I mean, we listen to everything, but we don't really anything that kind of just like putting down women. like our businesses, Peter Street Station is ran mostly by women. So anything that is, if it's not uplifting the woman, we really don't try to put that frequency in the air, you know? So anything talking about, you know, excuse my language, bitches and hoes and selling dope or killing, we really, I really get DJs to really play like really good music.
Yeah, we
So
do
we
too.
just try to regulate. We try to be conscious and with the intent that we are like this is art. So we trying to show the highest form of art and not to downplay. I think it's a place for everything, but I don't think trap music and selling art go hand in hand too much. So I, I I try to move with intent. You know, to bring, you know, we like rap music, we like jazz, we like soul, we like everything that you can dance to. It just don't. We just try not to put negative vibes in the air. That's all.
Thanks.
Okay, thanks, Maya. Let's go into the comments. Oh, I just want to mention Simon Magus said, "Don't confuse rappers with trappers." And Maya did clarify he doesn't have a problem with the rappers; he has a problem with the trappers. Okay, so getting back to Benny James, he says, "Is there a possibility to sell art in the BMA gift shop?" And I guess would you go about doing that?
No.
To possibly get art in the BMA gift shop, you'd have to contact the store manager and buyer, Sophie Cosper, and she would tell you what the guidelines would be for having, you know, merchandise or art, anything like that in the gift shop. And that's scosper@artsbma.org.
How do you spell Cosper? Cosper?
Correct. S is in Sam, COSPER @artsbma.org.
Okay. Um, awesome. Thank you so much for that. Okay. Um, are there any technical or equipment requirements artists should consider when planning their events in your venue?
We have a small PA, and it's really good for the poetry events. And acoustic, we have an incredible acoustic, and that's what really designates us away from, say, brewery performances, you know, where people are talking all the time, or necessarily, you know, more like bands. And we can do bands, but we also are very, very good for things that can happen acoustically, you know. So that's why we have a small PA. And then if we have a rap and reggae show or something, they want to bring in their own PA, they're certainly welcome to.
Awesome. Good to know. Thank you. Anybody else?
Well, at the
Nope.
museum, in the various spaces that we have, our 8th Avenue lobby, our cafe space, neither one have AV in them. We can provide a small PA system like with the wireless mic. In our auditorium, which is on the ground floor, it's a full theater setup with 332 seats, stage, and AV in the sound booth. So um, the client can utilize the audiovisual equipment. We do not have an AV tech on staff to run it, but we do have preferred vendors that can come in and handle the sound booth for you if you didn't have anyone on your team to do it.
Awesome. Thank you. Anybody have anything to add on that?
I would
Um,
say we have a really nice new projector. You can run it from your cell phone. And so, you know, we're looking for film nights, you know, so if there are any of you folks out there that are doing independent films, you know, you can check with us, you know, and see if you'd like to curate something like that. You know, that'd be awesome because we're set up for that now and we have a nice screen as well.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Maya? Oh, Will? Go ahead.
so what we look for at our venue, we actually have preferred DJs that are skilled in both videography as well as audio, from karaoke, from showing private viewings of videography stuff that we recommend you to. We've got about 2 or 3 guys that we work with directly. and they will literally bring all the equipment that's needed to make sure that your event goes off well.
Sounds good. Thank you.
We pretty much have the same. So they can either bring their own, or then of course we can contract someone out for them at the restaurant.
Got you. Okay.
Well, what is your venue? I didn't see it listed on. What is?
What did you say?
I'm interested in what Will's venue is.
I'm sorry. So I'm opening a new venue in downtown Birmingham called Ambiance. The focus is a small private event space that individuals can rent out for special events, private events, fundraiser events, showcases for minority-owned businesses, as far as pop-up shops, tasting events, anything that your mind can think of. I think we can facilitate it there. It's located on 18th Avenue, right across the street from the Alabama Theater and the Lyric Lounge.
Oh, cool.
Awesome. Maya, did you have anything to add to that?
Um, I think we have. I think we pretty can cover every event. When I built Peter Street Station, I designed it for every discipline of art as possible. So, like, if you're a filmmaker, you can do a film screening there. Actually, we do film nights every Friday night. We got film night. We show local filmmakers and international filmmakers there, independent films. Then we also go into late night hours with like films you might know of. That's Fridays. But I would say the only thing I would probably say, if you want some fancy lights, like bring some. We got our own lightings for like live performance on stage. We do got a stage for live performances, so we got a sound system for bands, specifically for live music and bands. We do have poetry readings. We do have live music on Wednesday nights. Um, and then we have comedy nights on Thursday nights. But if like we got a pretty nice light system in there for concerts and everything. But when people want to use the rest of the building, I have seen people bring in their own lights and put them behind like couches and stuff to give it the extras, um, decor vibe, because we got a library in there, so the colors reflection off the books look really good on camera if you're shooting and filming at the same time.
What's the name of your venue?
It's called Peters Street Station.
Peter Street.
Yeah, Peters with an S. Peters Street Station. It's in the Castleberry Hill Art District in Atlanta, Georgia.
Oh,
Yeah. Pretty cool spot. We film a lot of movies there, a lot of music videos, a lot of TV shows. So we get a lot of our stuff written out because they do a lot of filming. It slowed down during the strike, but probably I think somebody just called us about booking another something because they filming again. So it's like, yeah, the film industry really helps us out a lot. So artists get a little bit more freedom because the building is broke down between an event space. Then you got a hidden door, which you go into a hidden art gallery, which is called Hidden Gallery. Then we got a pottery studio. Then we got a painter, and on the second floor we got painters, illustrators, and tattoo artists on the top floor.
that's awesome.
So it's all discipline of art under one building. So it's more like an artistic experiment to see, in the community where we let the people come in from the community that we in. They can come in and enjoy the place because there's a coffee house in there and other stuff to do in there. They can look at films, do some homework, research, and we have all kinds of community events going on, like free yoga, um, fundraisers, charity events, anything in the visual arts. That's what we do. Anything selling art and related to selling art, we do. Our focus is to sell art. So we got a team of curators and art dealers always on deck.
It's awesome. I need to come see you.
Um, yeah, yeah. Maya, whatever he puts his hands on ends up being like out of this world. Because I've been visiting Atlanta for years. Anytime I drive through,
Did we lose
am I back?
you? Yeah.
Am I back? I was just saying, like every time I would go through Atlanta, I would stop by and visit Miya, and like he always had the dopest artwork displayed. So, if you guys ever get a chance to visit either one of his galleries or his community center, go. Just you're not gonna regret
What can I add a little something to that?
it. Yeah.
'Cause I didn't really kind of explain. So what we do, we got a block. We got in our neighborhood, Castleberry Hill. I actually got a
Mm-hmm.
neighborhood block. So out of that spot, like I'm setting up now so people can tour every single business in our neighborhood, which is a collective that we do. We all visual artists. So I own a large percentage of that neighborhood, and then my friends, they got their own spots too. So we got like Old Rabbit Gallery,
Mm-hmm.
which is our newest gallery. We just did our second opening Friday. Then you go to City of Ink, which is a historical tattoo and art studio. It's a tattoo studio, but it's also art gallery in there. That's what we do. All our first time artists, like artists that never did this show before, want to break out. We break artists right there at City of Ink. We got a gallery inside City of Ink, our tattoo shop. Then next to that, we got a boutique called Closet, which is really used for pop-ups for local fashion designers or designers that's coming to Atlanta and just want to do a pop-up. A lot of streetwear, a lot of urban wear. Then we got a private event space called Maya's Loft, which is my loft, my old loft where I kind of built the neighborhood off of, like my place I used to work, which houses my vinyl record collection and my vinyl toy collection. And we also have we do events in there for DJs. It's built for live, like the DJ culture. And we got like 3 tattoo artists and painters in there. Then we go over to Peter Street Station, which is the biggest building on the block, which is our art community center,
Awesome.
all on the
Thank you.
same block. Yeah,
That's really cool.
thank you.
I think that's dope. So thank you for sharing that with everybody. Uh, okay, so our next question coming up is, what would you say needs to be the lead time between when they contact you to have an event or to show their work versus like when it will actually be shown or when the event will be? So how much time do they need to put in there? Maya,
I
we
can
can't hear
answer. I guess I can't answer for for Hidden Gallery.
you.
We do a calendar a year in advance. So we do everything. We do all our art exhibits 1 year. So every artist got 12 months to do it, get the exhibit together.
Mm-hmm.
So and then we once we got the whole entire month filled up, then we make a public calendar and release it to the public so everybody know every single 30 days which art event is coming up, which kind of get an artist a little, inspiration, a little pressure on them to get their stuff done by deadline. We do the shows. Our openings are always on every second Friday. So we usually start hanging the work around. We take the work down Wednesday nights after the jam session, and Thursday night around Thursday we start prepping the walls and hanging the art. So we be ready by 7 o'clock Friday.
Got it. Thank you. Anybody else? Miss Ladonna, we can't hear you.
I'm sorry. There we go. We're not developed as Castleberry Hill, but that's the goal is to make it East Village in Birmingham. So you're incredibly inspirational to me. So it's much easier to get in our gallery right now because we don't have that much lead time. We probably are planning 3 to 4 months in advance. So just have a conversation. We might have a spot. So we invite you to get in touch.
Thank you so much. I think this is really helpful, giving people an idea because you don't want somebody showing up a week ahead of time. Like,
Yeah, you never know.
Miss Jestina, were you about to say something?
Oh, yes. If someone is interested in trying to get art in our permanent collections, like I mentioned earlier, contacting our chief curator, their process normally takes about 2 to 3 years in advance. So they're working on what's going to be in rotation in the galleries or exhibited 2 to 3 years in advance. So you
Great.
would
Okay.
have out earlier. And
Thank
as
you.
far as like having an art exhibition, renting the museum from me, I book out a year to 2 years in advance as well.
Awesome. Good to know. Very good to know. Um, it looks like we lost two of our people here. Hopefully, hopefully we can get them back. But we're gonna rock and roll with y'all. So let's see. Let's see. What's the next thing? Oh, is there a policy? Do you guys have a policy? And I know that the BMA doesn't count because you can't sell anything anyway. But with Miya and Ladonna, do you guys have a policy on commission fees or sales from art exhibitions held in your venue?
Yeah, just like any other gallery, like the basic is 50-50. So only thing of difference is like say if an in-house artist, like an artist is a member of Peachtree Station, and they put their own solo show on, then since they are the acting curator and the artist, then they get 75%. The gallery always get 25%. I usually break it everything down 50-50. So the artists get 50%, which I always tell the artists to double their price up. So they're not losing out on any money at all. They just getting a new collector. So I do 50% artist, 25% curator, 25% gallery. So, and me being an artist, I make 100% of when I do my own shows. I'm the acting curator, the artist, and the gallerist all in the same hat. Then when my artists are doing anything, I'm just acting as a gallerist. So I only get 25%, they get 75%. And then when we doing guest curators, like I say, the curator get 25%, gallery get 25%, artists get 25%. And that's how I do anything. And then we do commission work too. Usually, if it's an artist, it's an in-house artist, they get commission work. Unless they like in-house and got their own station, anything, I don't take any percentage from that. They get 100% of their commission work, unless they're creating it there on the spot location, like they using the studio to do it. And then, of course, they can put something towards the house. And usually they do that in the honor system. It's not obligated or contracted. They have to give me anything.
Okay. Thank you so much.
No problem.
Ladonna? Yes.
We haven't really established that. It's helpful for me to hear what Maya's doing. But at this point, I think we're just at 25%
Okay. And that's 25% for the house or 25% for the artist?
for the house.
Okay, cool. Thank you so much for that. Um, that's great for the artist.
Yeah, that's what we're here as a community center
Mm-hmm.
for artists. We're not a commercial gallery. We're just not. And some
Totally
of that stuff is not for sale.
got you. Okay, thank you. All right, just want to tune in to the comments. Erica was like plan ahead. Yes, that is absolutely right. And Benny dropped the Instagram reel, so guys check that out if you want. Okay. What is our next question? I had it and then I lost it. Um Oh, insurance. Are there any do you guys have any insurance requirements for artists if they want to work with you?
I personally got insurance on the spot anyway. So all the work could kind of be insured under my policy anyway. So
Okay. That's
yeah.
great.
Yeah, so artists, if you don't have any insurance on your work, you covered. If something happened, God bless, nothing happened. Never happened before, but if something happened to my building, anything like that, the artwork
Mhm.
is covered under my policy.
Okay. Good to
Yeah,
know.
no problem.
Anybody else?
Well, the museum, of course, has insurance as well, but I always suggest that the client has separate insurance also, just in case.
Cool. Okay. Um. All right. Yes, Miss Ladonna.
At this point, we don't have insurance.
Also good to know. So thank you for sharing that. So you guys, if you're artists, make sure that you're covered if you're working with either. Awesome. Okay. Um, let's see. What about like rehearsals and pre-event planning, setup and stuff like that? Do you guys have any policies where that's concerned?
Well, in our package deal, we do out when it's like when anything is art related, visual art related, then I'm doing 165 an hour, right? And sometimes we got a package deal where like you get an hour to set up, hour to clean up. So the event might be a 2 hour event. You're really booking it for 4 hours. The actual event time of 2 hours and then an hour to set up and an hour to break down and clean up. That's what I do it for that price if it's going to be the price of that low, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And it's community based, so a lot of the stuff is volunteers. So like a volunteer usually is not going to clean up like like a professional person. So we really ask people to do a basic cleanup, and then I have a cleaning lady coming through and do the rest using the money that we got from the event.
Got it.
So
Thank.
another job is created
Mm-hmm.
using this, using that system.
That's fantastic.
Yeah,
Thank you,
no problem.
Miss Justina.
Yes. If, well, I'll say this during the day, if there's some kind of art showcase or film screening, um, if anything needs to be set up before 9 a.m., there are overhead fee charges for security to be on the premises earlier. And also for events, normally you'd have 2 hours to set up prior to the event and an hour afterwards to break down. If the client feels like their vendors need more time to break down, I need to know that on the front end to build that in. Sometimes it may take 2, 3 hours after the event for everyone to get out, so that overhead fee is included in that charge, in the invoice, in the charge. We do have a maintenance team that can set up the layout of the inventory that you are using from the museum, such as tables, chairs, etc. Any of your outside vendors that will be bringing things into the museum for your setup would have to set their things up and also remove them at the end of the night. We do not allow anything to stay in the building after the event, so everything has to be removed during that breakdown time. And if there are any things left behind, since we are not a storage facility, there will be a storage fee charge, an invoice that you be sent for that charge. So that's the
God.
basic.
Thank you. Okay. Um, yes, Miss Ladonna, you have anything to add?
Let's see. Am I on? Can you hear me?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm finding both of y'all. I'm sorry. Somebody
Sorry.
just left the dogs.
Mm-hmm.
I'm finding both of you to be very, very helpful in terms of us, designating our pricing and stuff. Ours is a little bit more flexible being a community space. It's about who has what resources, what they have, what they're going to offer. Basically, we do that like 250 would be like a 4 hour, and that would include the setup and the cleanup. If you're a member of East Village Arts, that price could go down significantly. If you're a volunteer, it could go down significantly. So there's ways that we can support artists, by including you in some of the chores, and things like that, maybe painting or something like that. So, but we recently had a situation where we had to store Alabama Ballet's portable stage, and we didn't have it in the contract. They were going to make a new stage top, and that didn't happen. So all of a sudden, we had these big stages to have to store. So it's kind of good to hear both of you to see how you're running the business. I appreciate your mentorship.
Thank you. Okay, we got Will back, so let me
Sorry about
let
that, y'all. I was sitting in my car and I had to go home. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I noticed you have a totally different background than you had before. So thank you for coming back to the live. I appreciate you. So I got a couple of questions for you. Um, let's see. What is your policy on commission fees or sales from art exhibitions held in your
I
venue?
mean, again, we're a private venue that you can rent for whatever you want. I mean, that's on you. For the fundraiser, we're creating actual platforms for them to show them how to use the combination of food, alcohol sales for high ticket pricing, so they can raise more monies for the actual fundraising events that they're
Mm-hmm.
actually doing. We're teaming up with social savings clubs, with nonprofit organizations, with youth organizations, anything possible where we can actually use our venue and our space to help benefit them.
Got you. Okay. Next question for you, Will. If someone were to do an event at your new space, what would be the process to get access to the venue for pre-event planning, rehearsals, or any kind of a setup?
So, because we're starting out and we're very fluid right now, we are flexible in that range. As long as we don't have multiple bookings that day and we have the staffing available to accommodate them. Like, for instance, we got an event on the 16th, and we're basically allowing them to come in the night before to do all their decorating and setup so that the hourly rate that we're charging them isn't stretched. I don't have anything booked. And again, this is where we are right now because we are a new venue. We're just opening up. We're trying to build our clientele, and plus, we want to help some folks. We've been able to get into the venue at some very, very good pricing on our part. I spent about 6 months literally working on the venue at my pace. So again, we can do some very, very affordable stuff right now, and we want to because we want to build some good relationships. We're creating a private membership for people who want to do regular recurring events where they pay literally a monthly fee for a networking group and club organization that actually gets them discounts on rentals. It also pairs you with other vendors who are a part of the private membership that gets you discounts on the services that they offer as well.
Okay, cool. Thank you so much, Will. We got just a couple more questions for you guys. Those of you guys who are in the audience, listen, this is the time for you to make your presence known, network with these people, because you never know if you want to show your art or have a performance. Make sure that you're asking any questions that you have while we're live so you can, take advantage of the opportunity. Okay, thank you. All right, so next we have yes, one more thing from me. Well, two more things. Can I get all of you guys to let us know how to get in contact with you specifically, your website, email address, or phone number, who they should contact specifically if they would like to work with you?
Well, I like people to hit me directly, and then I quarterback it to my staff. I like the screen to have a quality control of what type of events we have at Peter Street Station. So I can easily be reached at 404-644-1912. And our target audience is the art community, like visual artists, filmmakers, painters, photographers, um, ceramic artists, pottery artists, anything in the visual arts, and live. We are ready for live music. We got a stage, we got sound systems, we got mics. Sound really really good in there. So anything jazz, funk, uh, rap, anything like that. Like I say, the only thing I try to keep away from is trap music. Anything that's detrimental to our neighborhood and our community. Um, that's it. So, and I can
Thank
be reached on Instagram too. You can see the building at 333 Peter Street. You can actually look at there's all these photographs of the interior of the building. The building was built in 1826, and it was abandoned since 1984. I purchased the building, and I used I just reclaimed all the old wood that was in the building to build that building out. So I saved a lot of money, and so it's a rustic, modern style decor, and each room is completely different in vibe and textures. So check it out, 333 Peters Street. That's Peters with an S. Um, just check it out. If you like it, book it up. You know what I'm saying? It's available. You can also check it out on Peerspace.
Your space. Okay, thank you so much, Maya.
No
Okay.
problem.
Miss Justina Howard.
Yes, you can reach out to me and I can connect you to those you may need to uh, uh, communicate with in the museum about various things like the curators or the public program or community engagement managers. My email is jhoward@artsbma.org. My office number is 205-254-2681. Our website address is www.artsbma.org. And our website has a vast amount of information on it. It tells you about the collections that we have, also rental of the venue spaces. It has a video so that you can see the spaces, the pricing, our facility policies. With us being a museum, we do have some guidelines that have to be followed when you're having an event at the museum, and also some other information if you are looking to get art appraised and things like that. We have contact information on the website for those types of things as well. So artsbma.org.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Okay. Next we got Miss Ladonna.
East Village Arts is located at 7166. No, sorry, 7611. That's what it is. 7611 First Avenue North. It's the block of Porto Road and First Avenue North in the Old Theater District. Our website is www.eva, or East Village Arts, Eva, beham.org. And on Facebook, we are Facebook/East Village Arts Birmingham. So you can get in touch with us that way. Our phone numbers are there on those sites.
East Village Arts in Birmingham is spelled all the way out.
Yeah, on Facebook, it's East Village Arts Birmingham.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Will, do you want to let us know how to get in contact with you?
Yes. Ambiance Events is located at 226 18th Avenue North, downtown Birmingham, across the street from the Alabama Theater. Connect me with calling me directly at 205-545-6050 for any bookings or events. Our Facebook and social media launches on the 10th of this month. So just keep us posted on anything that you need for your entertainment needs.
Okay. Hold on, I'm trying to write that down. Social media on October 10th. Okay, good. All right, here's our last question. Do you have any advice for aspiring artists when it comes to approaching a venue to work for them or work with them? And I'll answer at once now.
I'll say this.
Okay.
The last venue that we actually did stuff at was Bazaar. It was a venue that was open for over 5 years, and we actually did showcases for artists in every genre that you could think of. For me, because I'm the proprietor of these places and I make my business model so that it does not have to garner the highest prices. Whenever an artist comes to me and you're looking to do something by yourself or to profit, then I feel like I need to profit. But when you come to me and actually say that we want to create a venue to actually showcase more than just me, other people who will benefit from it as well. I'm always more inclined to give you a better deal or give you an off-peak night where it doesn't cost me anything to let you do your showcasing your product than I would be if you were doing something just for profit.
Thank you, Will. That's good to know. It's very good to know. Anybody else want to add anything?
Um, if an artist like rent the space out, they got to know that they just renting the space out. I'm not in charge of marketing. Like I'm not gonna be. It's not. I'm not obligated to post flyers or anything like that, or I'm not obligated to get my crowd to support your event. I'm just supplying the location, so you can have a beautiful decor, and my staff is gonna host you and your guests. But my job is not marketing. That's something completely different. So when artists come to me, always know that they just renting the space from me and my staff, and we'll do anything we need you to do. And we'll do anything we got to do for you, but we're not going to handle your marketing for your event. That's all.
Fair enough. Thank you for that. Miss Jestina?
Um, Piggybacking off what Maya just said, we do not market events at the museum. We are basically the host location for your event. So you would have to do your own marketing, and unless you're doing a partnership with the museum, and then that would be you still need to do some of your own marketing, but then we have a communications department that would also promote that partnership event that would be taking place at the museum.
Actually, since you said that, can you kind of elaborate a little bit more about what a partnership would entail?
That's if you, let's say, teamed up with our public programs manager in the education department on an arts after five event that we may have, and he may want art showcased or some kind of film showcased or whatever the other art talent may be. That would be considered a partnership with the museum. Um, but when you rent the venue, that is a private external event. And that's where I come into, we have the contracts and invoicing and payments and all of that that would be handled. But the partnership with the museum, you would deal with the public programs manager in the education department and work out the terms of what that partnership would look like.
Got it. Thank you so much for that. Okay, Miss Ladonna, you have anything to add?
Uh, Community venue, and so it's a large, rather bohemian, but warm and inclusive environment. And so we would just work with the artists who would want to do present an event of some kind or even an exhibition, and they would need to get in touch with us. That's number one, and we'll talk about it. They would pull together their imagery and their text information and submit that, and we would help out with the PR and posting on our website and posting on our Facebook page, and expect our other curators and members to share. And so it's a bit more community oriented. If it's somebody who wants to have a private event that's like family reunion or somewhere that they want to, we've had two memorial services and people didn't want to do a church or something like that, then that would be more expensive because it is a private event. And again, we pull out our contracts and try to help them as much as we could, with the event. But they would be responsible for their catering or any kind of food stuffs that would come in and that sort of thing. Generally, we have these loose events. It's a BYOB situation. So far, we're working a bit under the radar, but we now have a wonderful lawyer on our board who's going to help us establish ourselves even more than we are at this point. But it's open, and I invite you all to check it out.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Does anybody have anything else that they would like to add before we close out?
Thanks for having this, Jessica.
Oh yeah, no
Thanks for
problem.
inviting us all. We're very different venues, and there's room for everyone.
Absolutely. Thank all of you for coming. This was great. I mean, I really appreciate it. All of the different perspectives just kind of lets you know that, it's not like a one shot. What is that colloquialism? Anyway, every venue is different. and you got to approach it in different ways. So I think that this live gave people some insight on how that how that works. So I do appreciate all of you guys for joining us, and I am going to keep in touch. So thank you again, and I hope that you all have a good evening.
Thank you, and
Thank you.
goodbye.
Bye.